In the last video, I showed you how to add a line of best fit to a set of data by creating a second table and turning on the line between the points in the 2 points in that table and making the points draggable so that you could just position the line of best fit however you uh, liked to have it. Not really a formal method, but of an informal way of making a line of best fit. Maybe a line of good fit is a better description. But in this video, I want to show you another way to add that line. So let's take out this line of best fit and a little bit of foreshadowing into some of the rest of the course here. The way to make an equation for a line is to write something along the lines of y equals, so I want my y value to be equal to some formula related to my x value, and every line has a formula that looks like m times x plus b. We call m and b parameters for the line, and if I knew what number to fill in there, I would be done. Of course, I'm not exactly sure what number to fill in there, but Desmos has this cool feature where you can have a slider for m and b. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add all the sliders, so slider for both m and b. And now we can just move the sliders up and down, and that'll change the line until we're happy with the position where the line gets placed. Before I do that, I'm just going to change the color of my line here. So if I click on the edit button and click on the color for the line, I'd like it to be in that color again. All right, done. So when I move this slider up and down, something about the line is going to change. Okay, so watch what happens. Now, what's changing about the line when I move that slider up and down? Right, the angle that the line makes, or we're going to call that more formally the slope of the line, or how steep the line is, that changes when I move the slider for m up and down. And what happens when I move the slider for b up and down? I think I'm going to have to change the range on that slider. You can just barely see it moving there, right? It moves the line up and down the y-axis. Okay, so, but I'm going to have to go up to at least somewhere around here. So I'm going to make the top of my slider range 100. I just click on the 10, and what do I want to have instead of 10? I think that B should be below 100, but above 50, let's say. And if I click off that, so now I can make my slide go in between 50 and 100. So that's pretty good. Where I'm actually looking, the B number is where the line meets the y-axis. Okay, so I zoomed in a bit there. I don't want that. Stay zoomed out. And if I meet it somewhere around about there, that's going to be pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with the steepness of my line already, although I'd like it to be just a little more than 10. So again, if I just click on the 10, and I need a number a little higher, I'm not exactly sure how high, but a little bit higher. So let's make it something between 7 and 15. So M is greater than 7, but less than 15, somewhere in that range. Just click off so I'm not editing. And there we go. Okay, if I keep going a little bit steeper. All right, I like that steepness now, but my line is too far up. I've got only a couple of points above the line and lots of points below it. So it's about the right angle, but it's too high. So let's just drop that down a little bit until we have a good number of points above and a good number of points below. I might even like that a little bit lower. So let's just put it between 0 and 100 and play around with that. So I might like that right about there. So now I even have a bit of a formula for this line now too. I could say that the y value, the calories, is calculated by doing 11.4 times the x value plus 46. So I could really use that formula to go, okay, if something has 18 grams of fat, how many calories would I guess that it would have? Well, I could do 18 times 11.4, whatever that number is, plus 46, which would give me Well, it looks like it would give me somewhere around 220. If you actually click on this line, you can see the numbers, right? So if I wanted 18 grams of fat, I'm just kind of clicking and holding. 18 grams of fat would be calculated out according to that formula that I made as 251.2 calories. Oh, sorry, I was reading the scale wrong. I thought that was 300 up there. So 251, what was it? Points, 0.2 calories or something like that. Yeah, 251.2 calories according to the formula for the line that I've made this time. That doesn't mean that everything with 18 grams of fat is going to have exactly 251.2 calories, right? Obviously, remember, look at these 3 points for 9 grams of fat. There's 3 different points. I don't think any one of them is on the line for the number of calories in the food in different foods that all have 9 grams of fat, but that's because there are other things in food that give it calories as well, like sugar, carbohydrates, and protein. So something might only have 9 grams of fat but lots of protein and be up here, or 9 grams of fat and a little bit of sugar and be there, or 9 grams of fat and just a little bit of sugar and protein and be there. Right? So that's another way to add a line of best fit. Write the formula for a line, which always looks like y equals mx plus b, and then put some sliders in for m and b and just play around with the sliders until you're happy with where the line sits. This method gives you the benefit of not only just being able to eyeball where the line meets, but also being able to use that formula to calculate right out where the line would meet. So have some fun playing around with creating lines of best fit in that way. See you later, guys.